Friends, it's Lisa, and welcome to what is hopefully going to be a very fun, festive, cozy reading vlog. I, over the past few years, have done like weekly vlogs in the month of December, kind of doing like a weekly vlogmas sort of thing. And unfortunately, I didn't do that this year. I just knew it would be a little too much for me right now, so I didn't do it this year, and I'm really sad about it. So I wanted to do at least like a reading vlog, a week-long reading vlog to celebrate the holiday season. I just love Christmas, as you can probably tell by all of the decor surrounding me, but I love this time of year. So I wanted to do at least one reading vlog to kind of celebrate the holiday season and read some festive books and do all the festive activities. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. And also, we have the Lightfall readathon happening, which is a mini readathon. It's very chill, very relaxed, but it's a part of the Aurelium Magical Readathon, which is hosted by G over at the channel Book Roast. So I'll have her channel linked below, but basically the Aurelium Magical Readathon, we attend this academy and we study certain areas, certain careers. The Lightfall readathon is the like festive part of it, the little festive mini readathon, and basically we just go to the little village that's near the academy. We go do some shopping, so basically each shop has a different prompt. It's very chill, very relaxed, so I'm hoping that throughout the week this week I can kind of low-key participate in it, but also just read some of the festive, cozy things I want to read this month, and also just in general doing some Christmassy things. I want to watch some Christmas movies. I need to start doing some wrapping. Haven't wrapped a single present. It is December 8th, I think, today, and I know we still have time, but I don't want to wait until like the week leading up to Christmas to do all my wrapping, because then it's stressful. I want to enjoy the wrapping experience. So might do some wrapping this week, especially because I do need to ship some presents out to some family, so need to get those wrapped and shipped like as soon as possible. I also want to have some like festive treats, so obviously some hot cocoa is probably going to be consumed this week, probably a lot of hot chocolate. I kind of become the human embodiment of hot chocolate this time of year. And also we have some of those like Pillsbury cookies, the really delicious ones. We have elf versions of those, so I might need to make those this week as well. And also hopefully do some reading. That's the idea. I'm hoping that because I'm vlogging, it will actually hold me accountable to read the festive, fun things I want to read this month, because I haven't finished a single book yet this month. I know it's only the 8th, but still. I've said this before, but I've been in like a reading slump the whole like second half of the year. So I really want to get out of it, and I hope that I can start off next year with some strong reading energy. So hopefully this vlog can hold me accountable. Let's chat about what I'm gonna read, shall we? Okay, I had to grab the book I'm currently reading because of course I didn't bring it over with me, but I'm currently reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I know, hold the applause. I'm finally picking it up, I'm finally reading it. I'm not very far, I'm on chapter 7, which is page 64. So, haven't made a ton of progress, but I'm hoping to finish it in this vlog. Just in case you do not know what this book is about, I'm sure you do, it's very popular, but you're following an orc named Viv, and she has spent most of her life, you know, being a part of these wars and these battles and lots of bloodshed, lots of drama, and basically she just wants a break from that, and she discovers this thing called coffee. And so she travels to this little village that's never even heard of coffee to open up her own coffee shop. And so far we've just been seeing her like go through the process of opening this shop, buying the shop itself, finding people to help work for her and work for this coffee shop, learn what it is. And so far it's very, very cozy. It's just very much like her setting up her own coffee shop so far. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to get to know more of the characters as well, because I just recently, where I'm at, got introduced to this character, which, can I remember her name? Tandri? Is that how you say that? I don't know. But yeah, we've been introduced to her, so I'm excited to see more of their dynamic and actually see like what happens with these characters, because right now they've only really just met. So I'm just excited to keep going. It's very cozy so far. I'm loving the vibes, but obviously not too far. So hopefully can finish this up this week. And some other things I would love to get to. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get to all of these things this week, just because, like I said, I feel like I've been in a reading slump on and off the whole second half of the year. So me trying to read 4 things in a single week where I know I'm going to be pretty busy this week, on top of doing like the Christmassy things that I just want to do, we'll see how it goes. But some of the things that I would like to get to this week would be a reread of The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. I randomly the other night was like, you know what? I really want to reread this because I really enjoyed it last year, and I think it would just be fun to have like a festive thing to reread every year. I honestly have picked up some like festive holiday themed books in the past, and they never really work for me. I don't really like a lot of them, so I've never found that perfect festive thing to reread every year. How many times have I said festive so far in this video? Sorry. But yeah, just the idea of picking up something that is about the holiday season and reading it every single year just seems so cozy to me. So I would like to give this a reread. It's also pretty short. It is a novella. I think it's like 200 pages, maybe a little bit more. I don't remember exactly. So it should go pretty quickly, so I'd like to get to that if I could. And then I do have a couple of audiobooks I really want to read around this time of year, one of them being Midnight Neverwood by M.A. Kuzniar. This is actually a Nutcracker retelling, so I'm really excited about it. I think I might pick this up soon. I know with the Magical Readathon, you can't technically count something that you've started reading before the readathon is started, so Legends and Lattes unfortunately won't be able to count for any of the prompts for the lightfall readathon, but I'm gonna wait to start Midnight Neverwood until the readathon officially begins tomorrow, and then I can count that for one of the prompts. But yeah, this is a Nutcracker retelling. I don't know if I already said that, but that just makes me so excited to pick it up, and it just, you know, this is like the perfect time of year to pick it up. I wanted to read it last year and I didn't get to it. Actually, I think it came out last year. Whatever year it came out, I've been wanting to read it since, so I'm hoping I can actually get to it this week and this year, and I'm very excited about it. And another audiobook I have on my TBR for the month is The Secrets of Winterhouse by Ben Gutterson. This is the second book in the Winterhouse series. It's this like very cozy and magical middle grade series, and both the first book and the second book are set over the like holiday break. So again, a very appropriate thing to pick up around this time of year. So we'll see. I honestly don't think I'm going to get through all 4 of these books. I know a lot of them are pretty short. We have some audiobooks. It should be kind of easy, but like I said, I haven't been reading, so I don't know. I feel like this is a lot to ask of me, but I'm excited about all of these things, so we'll see what I get to this week. So yeah, reading some fun holiday things and also just doing some festive activities this week. We'll see, again, how it goes, because I know I'm going to be pretty busy this week, but we'll just see what happens. I'm now, I think, gonna go put on a Christmas movie and do some editing. I just filmed a video earlier today. I filmed my Spotify wrapped as book recommendations video, which I'm very excited about. So I might do a little bit of editing on that, put on a Christmas movie. I'm thinking Home Alone, because I haven't seen it yet this year. I have a pretty extensive list of Christmas movies that I like to watch, and then there's like the list of things that are actually a priority that I need to watch every year. So Home Alone is definitely one of them, and I haven't watched it yet. So gotta watch Home Alone 2. So I'm gonna put the first one on, do some editing, and yeah, we'll just see where the rest of the week takes us. Welcome to the fun and festive, cozy reading vlog. Why did I speak like that? I've filmed a video today, so the brain is completely checked out. Okay, gonna go now. So it is officially the start of Lightfall. Today is the first day, and so I am going to see what I want to pick up first. I've started my reread of The Mistletoe Motive. I started it today at work. I read the whole like 5%. I didn't really have much time to do a lot of reading, but I did a little bit, and I'm probably going to count that for some prompt. Honestly, I looked at the prompts when the video, like when the readathon was announced, and I haven't really looked since. So I need to look at all the prompts and see what I want to read and what can work for certain prompts. I also want to make a spread in my reading journal for the readathon also. So maybe I'll do that at some point this weekend. And yeah, I'm also gonna just continue on reading Legends and Lattes, even though I won't be able to count that for the readathon. I still want to make progress in that, and I'll probably start an audiobook. I'm thinking Midnight Neverwood might be the first thing I listen to instead of the second Winterhouse book, just because I'm so excited for Midnight Neverwood because it's a Nutcracker retelling, so I feel like I might start that, but we'll see. I do have some plans tonight with my family, and so I don't know how much reading is going to be happening tonight, but I'm hoping tomorrow and, you know, the rest of the readathon can do some reading. But like I said, I have a busy week ahead, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited for the start of the readathon. Happy Lightfall, everybody, and we'll just see how much I'm able to read. Probably not a lot, but I'm gonna try my best. Well, hey, what's up? So, today is going to be a productive but festive day. First of all, it's my dad's birthday today, so later on tonight we're gonna celebrate, have dinner and cake and do presents and all that stuff later on. But throughout the rest of the day, I want to have a productive but festive day. So that means doing a lot of wrapping, watching some Christmas movies, and I also want to do some reading because for a reading vlog, there hasn't been a whole lot of reading in this vlog so far. So I really want to fix that. But first, I think I'm going to start with doing some wrapping because we have some presents that we have to ship out to family probably sometime this week. So I want to get those wrapped and ready to go for when we ship them. But I also just think I'm going to wrap most of, if not all of the presents that I have so far. There's still some shopping I need to do. I think I'm going to do some shopping later on this week as well and hopefully finish up all of my Christmas shopping, but I'm in good shape. I think I've done most of my shopping, so I want to wrap kind of everything that I have so that I'm not wrapping a few days before Christmas because Christmas is in 2 weeks and I don't like to wait until a few days before Christmas to do all my wrapping because then it's stressful. I want it to be fun. So I'm gonna put on some Christmas movies, do some wrapping, and also hopefully later on as well do some reading. I'm probably gonna need to take a break from wrapping at various points, so that's when I can do some reading. And speaking of reading, books. That's what we talk about here mostly. Some updates on where I'm at with Legends and Lattes. I'm on chapter 11, page 98, so not very far. I keep trying to read this at night and then I just fall asleep. So I need to, I think, maybe start reading middle of the day, which is what I'm hoping to do today. But I'm still enjoying it. It's just really cozy and I'm really liking the characters we're getting introduced to. Yeah, I just also love the coffee shop vibes and describing the coffee and the smells and the atmosphere. And there's definitely some fantastical elements that are kind of being hinted at. I know this book is very low stakes, so a lot of the plot involving the fantasy things aren't really relevant, I think, until the end of the book. At least that's what I've heard. So I'm in it for the cozy vibes. I'm very excited to keep going with this and hopefully I can read a good amount of it today. I also started reading The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. This is actually a reread. I read this last year and really enjoyed it. It's a short story novella sort of thing and it's a romance and we follow these two characters who work at a bookstore together. So it's holiday themed bookstore vibes and I don't think it could get more perfect than that, but the two of them don't get along at all. And I think if I remember correctly, the whole premise is that the two of them make this bet with one another because the owners of the bookstore are gonna have to lay one of them off, so the two of them compete over who can bring in the most customers over the festive season and whoever wins will be able to continue working at the store, I think is the whole premise. And then the two of them obviously just spend more time together, get to know each other, fall in love. I'm very excited to keep reading this. I really enjoyed this when I read this last year, and I think I was saying in the intro that I would love the idea of having something festive that I can reread every year because I just don't really like a lot of festive books. I feel like I've tried reading holiday themed books, whether that's YA or adult romances, and they just never really work for me. So I really I'm happy that I have found one that I've liked and hopefully I can do that rereading thing every year. I would love to find more, so if you have any recommendations, definitely let me know. I've only read the first chapter, so I'm not very far, but it's already the best vibes. I'm just so excited to keep reading it, and it's really short, so I'm hoping that I can actually finish that this week as well and count it for the lightfall readathon. There is a prompt that is to read a book that has snow or ice on the cover, and there are snowflakes on this cover, so I can count it for that. But I also know that there's a prompt that's read a book based off of a random tarot generator, and I know the one that G uses, so I think I'm gonna pull it up. It's right here on my phone. I'll actually screen record. That would probably make the most sense. And I'm gonna see what I find and see if any of the books I want to read this week can work for this, The Mistletoe Motive or Midnight Neverwood. I feel like those are the two things I really want to read this week. So I'm gonna see if I can get this to work for either of those books. Okay, so I believe I'm screen recording. I'm going to click the card, see what we get. The Emperor. Wait. Okay, I don't know. Technically Midnight Neverwood. Okay, hear me out. It's a Nutcracker retelling. There is the Mouse King, the Emperor, King, the Mouse King. Do we get where I'm going with this? So if that reach kind of works, I'm gonna go with that. Because I think there is a prompt that's also like listen to an audiobook while doing a craft. So I could also count it for that as well. But basically I just want to have as many options as possible. So I think that that's what I'm gonna go with if that card works. But yeah, either way, whether I can count them for the readathon or not, those are the reading plans for the week. I do want to start listening to Midnight Neverwood and finish the Mistletoe Motive, read both of them and finish them ideally, and Legends and Lattes, but I feel like that's asking a lot of me. I still haven't finished a single book yet this month. Yeah, we'll see what I'm able to count for the readathon in this vlog. And like I said, I do want to do some reading later on today. But first, I want to do some wrapping. I'm going to put on a Christmas movie. I'm trying to decide what one I want to watch. Do I want to watch Home Alone 2? Do I want to watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey? Because I haven't seen that yet, and that's like one of my favorite Christmas movies. Do I want to watch The Holiday or The Polar Express? Got some options. I think I'm going to either do Home Alone 2 or How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Honestly, I feel like I'll probably watch more than one Christmas movie today. We can get through probably both of them, if not more today. That's the plan. Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling. I'm gonna get to wrapping. I'm gonna gather all my supplies. I can show you all of the wrapping paper I'm gonna be using this year. I think I showed the new ones I bought this year in another vlog, but I can show them again and all of my other wrapping supplies. And yeah, get started on wrapping, watching some Christmas movies, and then hopefully doing some reading as well. Okay, so quick little wrapping paper haul. Show and tell. I gotta speak with my hands. That's the only thing you can see. So first of all, I have these tags, which I think, again, I got when I got my new paper. So I think I showed these, and also the glare from the window. It's making it a little bit difficult, but those are very cute. And I think there's like a good amount. Yeah, 100 peel and stick. So got a good amount there. I also grabbed some of these, which you just write on and like tie on to things yourself. And then these are the 4 new rolls that I got this year. The deer, the red truck, the little snowman, and then the brown pine cone one, which I feel like is kind of hard to see. And then all of these ones are wrapping paper from years past, but I'm really glad I bought new wrapping paper this year because a lot of these are almost gone. This one with a bunch of little Santas on them is a pretty like big roll, so there's still a lot on that one, but a lot of these are almost gone. And I'm really sad because this paper is so cute and it's almost gone, and I'm very upset about it. It has a cute little bear and a little cabin and a snowman, and my camera isn't wanting to focus, but that's fine. And I feel like because I love that paper, that's kind of the vibe I went with these ones. But yeah, a lot of this is almost gone, so glad I got new paper. And then these ones, this is just a roll that we've had for a long time. It has some snowmen. It's also upside down, but it has some snowmen on it, and it's really cute, and it's double-sided as well. I think there's like red stripes on the other side. Yeah, red and green and white stripes, and there's a ton on this roll, so I always use some of that. And then this paper, there's not a ton left on this one, but this is like one of my dad's favorite wrapping papers that we have, so I have to wrap something of his with this. And I'm realizing that we have gnome wrapping paper somewhere, and my mom loves gnomes, so I need to find that so I can wrap her presents in that. This is excessive, and this isn't even like half of our wrapping paper. This is just like what I have purchased over the years. It's fine. We just love Christmas. So I'm gonna go find that gnome paper, get some boxes and bags as well, because I'm definitely gonna need some of those, and then we're gonna start wrapping. I'm also realizing I'm hungry, so maybe I'll eat lunch and then start wrapping. But yeah, this is the haul of all of the wrapping that I've collected, and I'm excited to get started with wrapping. One present down. So many more to go. The aftermath. Ta-da! Would you believe this took 4 hours. Why? And I still gotta put bows and everything on it. I'm doing great. Okay, everyone, big news. Also, I don't know what this is about, so we're gonna do that. But big news, everybody. I finished a book. I know, hold the applause. So I, this morning actually, like a half hour ago, finished reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, which unfortunately can't count for the magical readathon because I know that it's like, I think I've said this already, that it's a rule during the main magical readathon that you can't count a book that you already started towards like one of the prompts. And I assume that that's the same for the lightfall readathon as well. And I'm such a rule follower that I will be truthful about that. So I can't count it for the lightfall readathon, which is a shame because there is a prompt that's like, read a book you've been meaning to read all year, which like perfectly describes my experience with this book. Oh, do I want to do eyeshadow? I already have foundation on my finger. Okay. I don't know. So unfortunately can't count it, but I'm just happy that I finally read the book. I feel like that's really the most important thing. And I finally finished the book this month. And because I just finished it like a half hour ago, I feel like I don't fully have my thoughts. I did run it through the Compile rating system really quickly just to see like what it came out as, like my first like initial instinct on my ratings for things. And surprise, surprise, it came out as a 5-star. Which is kind of crazy because I have not had very many 5 stars this year. I don't even know what my last 5-star book was. Now I need to look that up. Now I need to know. Okay, looking on Storygraph at my 5-star reads. Oh, I think that might be my last one. Yeah, my last 5-star was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I finished reading that August 6th. So it's been months since my last 5-star read, and I'm telling you, I have not had very many 5 stars this year, so I feel like this was a 5-star reading experience. I feel like this book is just like so perfectly to my taste. The fact that it's so like character driven, I think that's a lot of concealer. I think that's what really works for me though. I am definitely someone that is more of a character driven reader. Obviously I love it when there's a really good and intriguing plot, but I feel like all of my favorite books are books where I feel invested in the characters and the characters are really important to me and make me more invested in the plot because I care about the characters and what's going to happen to them. And this book, the whole like premise is that it's a high fantasy with low stakes. So, you know, even when there is a bit of a plot, which we'll get to in a second, but even the bit of plot that we do have, like, I'm more invested in that because of the characters. Like, I become more invested in what is going to happen. My intrigue in the book is higher because I'm concerned for the characters and I want things to work out for them. And I definitely really loved these characters. I loved Viv and I loved Tandri and I loved their dynamic. And basically, like, every character that got introduced, other than, like, the not so nice characters. Obviously they were characters we weren't supposed to like, but all of the like people that come and start working for Viv and the coffee shop and all of the people of like this town and this village that she comes to know, like everyone was so quirky, or just like, it was just the most wholesome community of characters and it was just so fun to read. I loved the character Thimble, by the way. I genuinely like teared up this morning reading a part with that character just because it wasn't even like anything sad. It was just like an emotional, wholesome moment with this character and Viv, and it was so cute that it made me cry. But yeah, I feel like this book being very character driven makes sense because, you know, Viv throughout this book realizes that the most important thing about her shop and like what makes it so successful is the people and the people she's come to know, whether that's the people that are customers or the people she works with, the people she has kind of created this little found family with. Like, that is what's important to her, not necessarily the success of the shop, but the success of the shop is due to the people that she knows. And so this being a very character driven book, I think makes a lot of sense. And that just to me is like what I want. And it's also just so cozy and atmospheric. And the fact that it's set in this like high fantasy world, but it's not anything too intense or too intricate. And that's why I liked the plot as well, because it wasn't anything too crazy, but it just has like the cozy vibes of a high fantasy world, but without the high stakes, which the whole like premise and idea of this book is that it's a high fantasy with low stakes. So I think that just really works for me and my anxious brain. I'm the type of person that just rewatches the same movies over and over and over and over and over again because I know what happens and I know that the ending will be okay and everything will work out, and that it's just like a cozy watching experience and relaxing watching experience. And that's what reading this book felt like. Even though I was reading it for the first time, I didn't know how everything ended. I just had that like, oh, everything will be okay in the end. It's just cozy, it's very low stakes, and I just like that. As a very anxious person, it works for me. But speaking of the plot, I think I went into this book not expecting there to be much of a plot. I feel like I had heard from a lot of people that the plot is a little like underwhelming. I think just because it is so low stakes, like the plot isn't that intricate, like I was saying. But like there is a plot and there's things happening kind of throughout the whole thing. I mean, the beginning of the book really starts with Viv just like opening the shop and meeting people and getting it all set up. But like there are things being set up and established and conflicts that are happening throughout the entire book that leads to the big conflict in the end. And I don't know, I just wasn't expecting there to be as much of a plot and conflict as there was. I think just due to how other people talked about this book. So I don't know, I think I was just like pleasantly surprised that there was more of a plot and conflict than I was anticipating, but it was also still the perfect balance of that conflict with the characters and it being a more character driven story and more so about like their personal journeys, but there still was a plot. So I was still intrigued. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that this like was the perfect balance of everything that I enjoy. It had the cozy vibes. It's set in a coffee shop. I was drinking my coffee this morning reading this book. It couldn't have gotten more perfect. But it also had lovable characters. It was a very character-driven story, but the plot was still intriguing enough to keep me wanting to read. But it also had that like sense of security that everything was going to be okay. It's just all things that I enjoy. So yeah, I can totally understand why this book had the success that it did. There's something so comforting about it, even though, you know, when we're all reading it for the first time, there's just some sense of comfort in knowing that everything's going to be okay. And that's sometimes fun to read. Sometimes when you read these other high fantasy novels or just fantasy in general, like there's a lot of high stakes and there's a lot of things that could go wrong and people dying and all of this like bad things, like all of these things happening. So it's just nice to read something that was set in a fantasy world, but it just felt comforting. I don't know. I feel like cozy fantasy is something I need to read more of because it just feels like the perfect genre for me. So if any of you have any other cozy fantasy recommendations, I would love to hear them. I also need to turn on this light because the sun has decided to disappear, which is a little inconvenient because I'm going to be filming today. So I need the sun to come back out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this time of year is just so difficult to film because even when the sun is out, it's not very bright. Oh, there it comes. Hello, welcome back. But yeah, filming is just such a pain in the booty this time of year. So I feel like the quality and like the lighting in all of my videos from like here until like April is just bad. Oh my god, this chair has probably been squeaking this whole time. I apologize. This has been a bit of a mess. I'm a bit all over the place. However, Legends and Lattes, incredible. I think I am gonna give it 5 stars. I feel like now that I haven't had very many 5 stars this year, I like overthink when I should give something 5 stars, but I feel like there's nothing that I disliked about this book. There was nothing that I didn't like. I loved everything. I loved the characters, loved the plot, loved the cozy vibes, the atmosphere, the writing. There also was like the teeniest bit of a romance in this book, which I did not know and did not expect, but was pleasantly surprised. So it was just like everything that I wasn't aware of or didn't know how it was going to be done I was pleasantly surprised by everything. And then there was one thing that I felt like once we got towards the end of the book wasn't fully resolved. And I was like, oh, I wish that we had kind of seen some resolution with this thing. And then I got to the end of the book and it did end up getting resolved. And I was like, oh, that was going to be like my one complaint about the book, because I wish that one thing we kind of saw what happened with this particular thing or person. And then we do. So I have no complaints, no notes. I feel like this has to be a 5-star, which is also incredible because this was a 5-star prediction for the year. And I feel like most of those have been wrong. Not even just this year, in general. I do 5-star predictions and I'm almost always wrong about every single one. So, you know, I'm happy to take the win on this one. And I also know that the sequel just came out recently, I think. And unfortunately, I did see that Steph from Stephanie Bookish was saying, like, if you haven't read Legends and Lattes, you should read the prequel first. And I saw that when I was like maybe 100 pages into Legends and Lattes, and I was like, dang it. But I'm still gonna read it because I want more of these characters. And I think the prequel is still following Viv. And I think some of the characters that get involved in the prequel might be getting their own book. I don't know. I feel like I could read a whole book dedicated to all of the characters that we met in Legends and Lattes. I want Pendry, was that his name, to have his own book. He was the one that came into the coffee shop and started playing music. I love him. So I would love for him to get his own book someday. I don't know if that will happen, but I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm very happy that I read it finally and also really loved it. I feel like it was everything that I wanted and more. I was pleasantly surprised by so many things and I was expecting it to be good. Like I was expecting to love it. Obviously it was a 5-star prediction, but there were a lot of things that I didn't anticipate, or just like hearing other people's reviews of the book over the past like year or so, I expected different things, but then I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of things. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed it. Loved the characters, loved the vibes. I feel like I've already said all of these things so many times. I can't review books and do my makeup at the same time. I don't know why I always try to do this. It never works out. But now that I've finished Legends and Lattes, I'm hoping I can focus on some other things and hopefully finish those up this week and actually count them for the Lightfall readathon, which also, by the way, G created another ambient room for the magical readathon. It's like the tavern that's in the little village of where we're doing all of our shopping for the readathon. And that was like the perfect thing to have on while reading a book set in a coffee shop. I know it's not like the exact same, but it just had a similar vibe and it was just like the perfect thing to have on last night while I was reading. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can now focus more on my reread of the mistletoe motive. I think I'm now like a fourth of the way through. I think I'm exactly 25% of the way through that. So I'm hoping that now that I've finished Legends and Lattes, I can get through that a bit faster. But I don't know how much reading is going to happen today. Probably not until later on tonight, because my plans for the day, I'm getting ready right now because I'm going to film a video. I'm filming my 2023 favorites. So not my favorite books of the year, but basically like everything else that I was loving throughout the year, which it's one of my favorite videos to do every year because it's just fun to like collect all of that throughout the whole year. And I feel like these are going to be the types of videos that I really enjoy going back and rewatching like in the future, just to see what I was liking at certain times. So yeah, I'm gonna film that, and then after, later on today, I'm going out and doing some Christmas shopping because I have some things I still need to get. I'm hoping that I can, there we go, that I can finish my shopping today because I know exactly what I have left to buy and I feel like I can get all of it with where I'm going today. So fingers crossed I can finish my shopping today and then that will be done, and I'm just gonna need to wrap all of the new things and then I'll be all set for Christmas because we're now like less than 2 weeks away from Christmas. So I need to kind of get all of that done, and also once that's done then I can just like enjoy the rest of the holiday season and just watch a bunch of Christmas movies and not be stressed about shopping and all of that. So hoping I can finish all of my shopping today, and then hopefully after that, maybe tonight, I can do some reading because I would like to read at least one thing for the Lightfall readathon. That was the whole point of this vlog, was to read books for the Lightfall readathon. Haven't done that. So yeah, filming a video, Christmas shopping, and then hopefully doing some reading is the plan for the rest of the day. And my eyebrows are coming out very bad, so I need to focus on my makeup and stop talking. So I will check in a bit once I hopefully have some more reading updates and hopefully can complete something for the Lightfall readathon. Well, hello. What's poppin'? So we did go and do some Christmas shopping yesterday. I managed to get most of my shopping done. I still have like a couple of things I have left to get, but it's all easy stuff. So it should be things that I can get over the next week and a half before Christmas. But mainly I'm updating you all because I have to show you the sweatshirt that I bought last night. I know, I really shouldn't be buying things for myself right now. I told myself I wasn't going to buy things for myself right now because I've spent a lot of money, on Christmas gifts, and also it's just like that time of year where I shouldn't be buying things for myself. However, I feel like it's justified when you see the sweatshirt. I feel like you're going to understand why I had to get it. It's a Nutcracker sweatshirt. Isn't it so cute? I'm obsessed. I just love it so much. And it's really soft. It's actually the same brand. It's the Maya and Tess brand, which is the same brand that I have that like big hoodie blanket thing. It's like a knockoff of the comfy thing, which I don't know where that is. It's probably in the depths of my closet, so I need to get that out because it's the season where I live in that basically. But it's the same brand as that, so it's all like really soft comfy stuff. So it's really soft on the inside and on the outside, and it's just so cute. How could I say no? If it's something to do with the Nutcracker or just a Nutcracker in general, not even the ballet or the story, just a Nutcracker, I need it. So I think my plan is I might put this on and actually start listening to the Midnight in Everwood audiobook like I've been saying I was going to do for the past week. I think we're at the point where I think I have to take me finishing Legends and Lattes as a win, and anything else that I read this month is just going to be a bonus. And if I even manage to read one thing for the Lightfall readathon, it'll be a miracle. I still haven't done a reading journal spread. Sam, what are you doing? He's trying to get into my desk. Why? Okay, anyway. What was I saying? Oh, I still haven't done my reading journal spread for the Lightfall readathon, and I'm like, do I even do it at this point? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to read anything. I'm going to try, but the readathon ends on Sunday, and it's now Thursday. Sam is in menace mode, so he's just going to be getting into things while I chat with you. So we'll see how it goes, basically. But I feel like putting on that sweatshirt, it'll motivate me to read Midnight in Everwood and start it. I do think though that the audiobook prompt is like read an audiobook while you do a craft, and I'm like, I don't have time to craft. I mean, I could do like the reading journal spread, and I feel like wrapping presents should count as a craft because it takes me so long to wrap. It's basically like I'm creating a piece of art with these presents that I'm wrapping. It's really not, but it just feels like it should be. So I feel like that could maybe count. Sam, why are you getting into everything? What are we doing? Okay. I keep getting distracted by the cat. The audiobook prompt. That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's to read an audiobook while doing a craft. So we'll see if I can do that. Because I think... Oh, was I going to use the mistletoe motive for the tarot prompt? Oh no, I was going to use the Midnight in Everwood for the tarot because I connected it to the Mouse King. I forget what I've done. I'm so... this time of year, this is like actual evidence that my brain is just mush. It's overwhelmed. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, wait, I was gonna count Midnight in Everwood for the tarot prompt and then the mistletoe motive for the snow on the cover. Well, I think at this point, we're just gonna see what I managed to do and what I managed to complete, and we'll see what prompts I count them for, just because I don't even know if I'm gonna finish both of them. I haven't even started Midnight in Everwood yet. But I'm hoping that sweatshirt will motivate me. But yeah, basically that's all I had to say. I just wanted to show off that sweatshirt. So I think tonight, like I said, I'm going to put that on, maybe start listening to Midnight in Everwood. And also I do want to do some reading of the mistletoe motive, but right now I'm working on editing my 2023 favorites video, which I feel like is going to take a while because there's so many like pictures and just things I have to insert, like little videos and things like that. So it's going to take a little while, I think, to edit that. But I think I might put on a Christmas movie, edit that for a bit, and then later on tonight do some reading of something in my Nutcracker sweatshirt that I'm very happy I purchased. Shouldn't have purchased it, but I did, and I'm happy about it. Okay, ignore the appearance, the unmade bed behind me. I sleepy. But very, very quick update. Basically, I'm Boo Boo the Fool. I am a clown. I am a silly goose because I thought this whole time that I had access to the audiobook for Midnight in Everwood. I do not. It is the ebook that is on Hoopla. So that makes things a little bit more challenging. I can't listen while I do things. And also, it's Saturday. The Lightfall readathon ends tomorrow. It's the last day tomorrow. And I have a feeling the mistletoe motive is going to be the only thing that I finish and read for that readathon. However, I'm almost done with that. I'm a little over 80% of the way through. I think I have the last couple of chapters. And I'm still loving this reread. I love these characters. I love the enemies to lovers, or like the rivals to lovers energy, but also the fact that they're like secret pen pals. I just love it so much. So anyways, having a great time with that reread, and I'm almost done. So I think I'm going to finish that tonight and then hopefully start the ebook for Midnight Neverwood and just see how far I can get into that this weekend. I probably am not going to finish it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and read as much as I possibly can of that, and we'll just see what ends up happening. But yeah, I have a feeling the mistletoe motive is going to be the only thing I actually read for the Lightfall readathon, which is a little unfortunate, but I did finish Legends and Lattes in this vlog, so she has done some reading. Just a little bit. So before this vlog officially comes to an end, I do have some things I want to chat about with you all. Lots of updates, lots of fun things, lots of not so fun things. Like this morning, we lost power. Yeah, it's been really rainy. I think the rains might have started last night, but it's also been extremely windy. So we had no power for a little bit this morning. I actually don't know when it went out. It was out when I woke up this morning, and I went to plug my phone in to charge because I could hear how windy it was. And I was like, oh, I should plug my phone in to charge before we lose power. I plugged it in and nothing happened. I was like, oh, we already have lost power. But yeah, it was definitely out for a couple hours because it came back around 10, maybe a little bit before 10. So that wasn't super fun, but luckily it came back and it's been on the rest of the day. So fingers crossed it stays on. I don't know if the wind is going to be picking back up at all. It's kind of calmed down a little bit. It's still like pouring, but I think the wind has gotten a little bit better, but there's definitely like wires and trees down places. My parents have actually just left to go on an adventure. We need things at the store. We need stuff for dinner. So they're gonna take their time, venture out, probably have to take a lot of detours, but hopefully get to the store at some point. So yeah, I had no power for a bit this morning, but it's back now. Everything now at this point has been fully charged. I actually probably charged my laptop again because I've been editing this vlog all day since we got our power back. So probably should charge that again just in case. But very excitingly, I got to open a prize earlier today. I got to open a gift from my Secret Santa. So me and a bunch of my friends from BookTube, we do a Secret Santa every year. I think the first year we did it was 2020. We may have done it in 2019, but I think 2020 was the first year. But either way, we've been doing it for a couple years. But I got my gift from my Secret Santa like a week or two ago. I've had it under my tree for a little while, and I was just waiting to see when we all wanted to open it. Sometimes we do like a little FaceTime video call thing and open them on camera. But we didn't do that this year because people kept opening them accidentally, which of course that happens. I feel like everyone's receiving a lot of packages this time of year and you don't know what's what. So things got opened accidentally, and I checked the Discord today and like everyone else had opened their gift, and I went, oh, I'll open mine. And it was very exciting because from my Secret Santa, I got I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. And I've been really wanting to collect all of Alice Oseman's books with these new updated covers with their like artwork on them because I just love them so much. And I actually haven't read many of Alice Oseman's books. She's written a few YA books that I have not read. I think I've only read Radio Silence and Heartstopper, but there's this one, there's Solitaire. Isn't there another one? Loveless? I feel like there's another older one, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. She has a lot. And then there's also like certain novellas that are about characters from like Heartstopper and everything. And I just want to collect all of their books with these new updated covers. So very happy to add one to the collection. I have the Nick and Charlie short story, so I have this now. Yeah, I'm very excited to read it. All I really know about it is that it's following a band and I think a fan. Like, I think she's the fan and he's part of the band, and there's a whole thing where a couple of the bandmates are getting like shipped together, and so it's gonna probably have a conversation about like shipping and that kind of culture within fandoms and what happens when you ship real people instead of fictional characters. At least I hope that that's the conversation that's happening. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't know, I'm interested to see. I think there's probably going to be a lot of conversations on fandom as well. And I just feel like I'm going to really relate to this as someone who, especially as a teenager, was very obsessed with a lot of bands, a lot of boy bands, and like, I still kind of am. I just have like that obsessive personality with like music and things like that. So I feel like I'm really going to relate to this main character, and I think it's just going to be a very interesting look at like fandom culture. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to read it. And actually, I do know who my Secret Santa was. It was from Connor. So thank you so much, Connor, for this gift. I feel like I don't want to say who my Secret Santa was, like who I bought for, but I feel like I've bought for this person every single year. And I don't know how it's worked out this way, but I feel like I've had this person as the person I'm buying for every single year. I don't know how it happens, but anyway, very excited about this. Thank you so much, Connor. And thank you once again to my besties for us organizing the Secret Santa. It's always so fun every year. So we've got power outages, we had book mail, and now it's time to chat about the reading updates, what I managed to read this week, which to be honest, not much. But I know I already said in this vlog that I've been like in a reading slump since July, and it's really kicking my butt. So I'm proud of myself for having read 2 things in this vlog, and I started a 3rd. So you know what? I'm taking it because this reading slump is really kicking my butt, and I'm really hoping in the new year I'll be able to get out of it. I think just the idea of a new year, new start, fresh start, kind of excites me about reading, especially because like I think right now too I've been planning out my like worst books and best books of the year videos because it's that time of year. So I've been just like looking back at everything that I've read this year and reflecting on my reading year, and I have had the most average mid reading year I think of my life. Like, there are just not a lot of books I feel passionately about, whether that's good or bad. Like, I've definitely read some good books this year. I definitely have some new favorites, but I don't know. I don't have very many 5 stars this year. I don't feel like I have had a great reading year. Everything has been very average, very like okay to good, but nothing extraordinary, nothing that I feel super excited and passionate about. Again, like I said, either way, I don't feel like I feel passionately about the books I also really didn't like this year. Like, a lot of them were just fine. So I feel like that's also why I feel a bit discouraged with reading right now, because I'm like, this whole year has just been so blah. So I'm hoping, you know, next year, new start, that hopefully that mindset will just make things a little bit easier and I'll be more excited to read, because I'm at the point where I'm like, it's almost the end of the year, this reading year is almost over, and hopefully next year will be a bit better. But anyway, tangent aside about this reading slump in my mid reading year, finished Legends and Lattes, which is definitely a highlight of the year because I ended up giving this 5 stars. But even then, I do feel like, yes, this is a 5 star and is definitely now one of my favorite books of the year, just because there's not a whole lot of competition in that category. But it's not a book that I'm like, oh, this is a 5 star and it's now an all-time new favorite. But also at the same time, since I finished this earlier this week, I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, I've kind of been missing not being in this world and with this characters and like with this coffee shop and everything. So I'm like, maybe I did like it even more than I realized, but I don't know. There's definitely like 5 stars where it's like, I really loved it, loved everything about it, there were no complaints, it's a 5 star. And then there's the 5 stars that's like, that's true, but then they're also just like, they feel like a piece of your soul and you become like so obsessed with them and they're now all-time favorites. I don't know if that's in that category. It might be. I feel like I still need some time to like sit with it, but I did really enjoy it. It does feel like a 5 star, just not a 5 star that I'm like new all-time favorite. Does that make any sense? But I do think it is a favorite. It's definitely something I really enjoyed. I loved the characters, loved the setting, loved the cozy fantasy kind of genre that this is. And I know that this was like a big reason why the cozy fantasy genre has taken off. So I would love to hear recommendations if you have them for more books like this or within that genre. And then I did finish my reread of The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese, which I poorly explained the plot of this earlier in the vlog, so I'm gonna do that again now. You are following Gabriella and Jonathan, and they both work at this bookstore. And Gabriella is obsessed with the holidays. She loves the festive season. She loves decorating the bookstore and just like celebrating these times. And Jonathan, however, is more of a Scrooge, not into the holidays at all. And that's just like one of the things that they butt heads over. Since Jonathan had been hired to be like a co-manager with Gabriella at this bookstore, they've kind of just constantly butt heads because he has a very different vision of what the bookstore should be, and he really wants to expand, you know, its reaches. He wants to do an online store, wants to just do different things that can bring more money into the store, because now at the end of the year, during this holiday season, they realize that this store might not open in the new year. They are very much struggling financially, and the two of them really need to figure out a way to save this bookstore. And Gabriella is kind of spiraling about this bookstore that she loves so much going out of business that she can only see a way forward with one of them being laid off, either her or Jonathan having to leave the store. So she proposes this idea that the two of them will compete, and whoever makes the most sales during the month of December, during the holiday season, will be able to stay working at the bookstore, and the other one will have to leave. So they're kind of competing for these sales. It's very much a rivals to lovers sort of story. But then there's also another aspect where Gabby has been talking to this guy online, and she only knows him as Mr. Reddit, or like whatever his username is that I can't remember off the top of my head. But they don't know each other's names. They don't really know who the other person is behind the screen, and they've really like formed this connection. They get along really well. They met on like a bookish Reddit thread thing. I don't know anything about Reddit, so that's all I can tell you. But yeah, she's really like formed this connection with this guy and thinks that she might want more from a relationship with him if they were to ever meet. So it's kind of a struggle for her throughout this whole book, because she starts to have these feelings growing for Jonathan, her rival at this bookstore, but she also knows that she has this connection with this guy online. And so she's kind of trying to navigate that situation. And I just really love it. I really love the characters. I love the romance. I love the banter. I love the rivals to lovers arc. And since reading this book for the first time last year, I now have read another Chloe Leaf's book. I read the first book in the Bergman Brothers series, Only When It's Us, I think is what that one's called. And I really enjoyed that as well. I think I just really like her writing and the way she writes her characters and her romances. And that one was also kind of I wouldn't say rivals to lovers, I'd say like kind of dislike to lovers situation as well. And I think she just writes that dynamic really well. And I also love the conversations surrounding Gabriella because she is autistic and demisexual. And I love that, you know, we see her talk about her struggles with like trying to understand like social cues from people. She doesn't always pick up on those things. So she doesn't always understand when people are flirting with her, or she doesn't understand when people might like her in that way, but also how it can take her a while to form connections with people, both friendships and like romantic relationships, and how she has to kind of form a bond with someone before that can happen. And I just really appreciated that representation in those conversations. And also it's just a festive time in a bookstore. Like, it's perfect. It's everything I could ever want. So last year I rated this 4 stars, and this year I bumped it up to a 4.5 stars. Something about it isn't a 5-star feel for me. There's some moments within the romance that are like a little cringy, just like slightly, but I still really enjoy it, and I do like the romance and the characters and just the whole arc and dynamic. And this man That's all I need to say. So yeah, finished The Mistletoe Motive, and then because I was Boo-Boo the Fool and only had access to the ebook for Midnight in Everwood instead of the audiobook, I now started that, but I think I've only read the first like chapter. But so far I like the writing. I'm very interested. We've already seen some familiar names and characters pop up, and honestly, I know I read the description of this book when I first found out about it and when it was first released, but I haven't read the description since, so I kind of forget how this kind of twists the Nutcracker story. Like, I don't exactly know where it's gonna go. I'm just excited to read it and see where it pulls inspiration, but also where it differs and goes on its own journey and its own story. And I also did watch Barbie and the Nutcracker last night, so now the story is like fresh in my head, because obviously Barbie and the Nutcracker is the most faithful way and the most faithful adaptation of the Nutcracker. I had such a good time watching that, by the way. It was so nostalgic and just so fun, so highly recommend if you can find the Barbie movies anywhere, if you own them. It's such a nostalgic watch. I don't understand how these movies aren't on any streaming service. Like, they are missing out. All these streaming services are missing out on the advantage of having the Barbie movies on their service. But anyway, yeah, had a great time watching that and just very excited to continue on with Midnight Neverwood because first chapter went well. I mean, I don't really know much of what's going on, but I like the writing so far, and I'm just excited to read a Nutcracker retelling. I've been telling myself I was going to do this for years now, and it's finally happening. I feel like next year I need to do a whole, like, reading vlog dedicated to reading Nutcracker retellings, and I can also read the original Nutcracker. Maybe I can go and finally see the Boston Ballet perform the Nutcracker next year. That's like bucket list item number 1. And then of course obviously watch Barbie and the Nutcracker again. Just do a very Nutcracker themed vlog. Anyway, that's in the works for next year. This year, we're just gonna read this one, hopefully. So I actually just wrapped up this whole vlog clip and realized that I forgot to comment on Lightfall after talking about all the books that I read in this vlog. So I'm back to say I completely flopped at Lightfall. I really only completed one prompt with the mistletoe motive. It was the read a book with snow or ice on the cover. What store was that for? Okay, it's the one that's a mouthful. That's why I couldn't remember. Wallace's Wonderful Winter Wanimals. That's the one. So I completed one prompt, which, you know what, it's better than 0. I wanted to do more than 1, but that's just kind of what ended up happening, and that's okay. Maybe next year I'll do better. Okay, but anyway, back to Lisa when she was originally ending this vlog. But yeah, I think that that is going to wrap up this vlog, and I just want to quickly say happy holidays to you all, regardless of what you celebrate. I hope this holiday season is festive and fun, and you get everything you wished for, and it's just a joyful time for you all. But also I do know that this time of year is difficult for a lot of people for a variety of reasons, so I just want to send my love to anyone who may be struggling this time of year. I'm thinking of you. I know that, you know, as much as I love this time of year, not everyone has the same experience and emotions and feelings towards it. So sending all my love to you all, regardless of how you feel this time of year. I'm very happy that I got to share a piece of my festive holiday season with you all, and hopefully that brought some joy to you today if you watched it. I don't know. Well, let me know if you made it this far into the vlog. I feel like this is a long vlog, so leave a, what emoji do I want you to leave? Leave a snowflake emoji down below if you made it to the end of the video. I'd love to see who made it this far into this very chatty festive vlog. But yes, happy holidays to you all, and thank you so much for watching this festive reading vlog, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.